Ben Alaiya is in the studio this morning. Ben, good morning. Good to have you. It's a Friday.
It's a Friday. Good to be here.
Yes, great to have you. I mean, first of all, why are you not in Okpekpe for the road race? I know you've been a regular.
Who said I cannot still make it?
No.
Okay,
but for now, I think I'm not in Okpekpe yet.
Okay.
Just yet.
What will you be expecting? I mean, are you thinking Nigeria might just, get into the top 10?
Surprise.
I don't want to be too optimistic. I think that we don't have a culture of long distance running.
Okay.
And I think that maybe in the top 20, we've always gotten in there, but gradually we are coming. And if by what we gave to the person who was the top Nigerian last year, if he passed through that test and the training and the program that was supposed to be scheduled for him, maybe he will be in the top 10, but I'm not so optimistic about that.
Okay. I think at least from that region can actually take advantage of the
hilly side, the weather.
Go
to Okpekpe, go to Ososo, it's like Jos.
Yeah.
You can train long distance runners there, and we have very strong people in that zone area too. And then the cycling tour that was being planned, I don't know whether it will still hold also this year. A lot of things are supposed to be happening around that area.
Yeah, to just open it up. Okay, now let's talk about the electoral committee that has been set up by the sports ministry. Just on Tuesday, Wednesday, the House of Reps, so when the men talked about the fact that, the sports ministry needs to actually shift they've advised that the sport ministry should consider shifting the elections. But then when we got a release from the ministry, it's saying that, of course, we still have the June date for the elections, and also you have some names out for the electoral committee. So what do you make of all this?
Well, I think that it's conflicting, really, if you ask me, because the House of Reps is an arm of government, the legislative arm. They oversee activities in the sports. So if the sports committee met and said, look, shift this election, don't put up an electoral committee, and then the minister, who is an appointee, all these guys who are talking were elected anyway, the minister is an appointee, and he goes ahead, he's confronting directly the sports, the House of Reps, and I don't think that is good enough for sports. I think that there's need for them to coalesce, have a meeting. Of course, the idea of also saying that they are approving the minister is also in the fore, because they raised that issue in their meeting. People we know, like the chairman of the House of Reps committee, Honorable Midiron, and a couple of guys that we all know, were livid with rage that the way the team was going, it was like it was going to be stage managed. My own take on this is, look, if we are looking for proper sports committee, don't also forget that in the course of the week, the sports ministry came out to say that the sports federation are going to be autonomous. And that shows that government are not going to fund them. If government are not going to fund them, why does the ministry wants to impose precedents? And because even now that government are funding them,
he's thrown it open. He's not doing that.
Even now that government are funding them, they are not funding them well. Yeah. Because most of Godwin Kenka, who headed the recent committee that had to review sports, he came up with an idea to say that most federations who says that they are using their personal money, we are only chasing international positions and all that. But I contradict that a little, because most of them, a lot of them that I know, are using their money and their connections in corporate organizations to bring funding to the sports. And if you take them out because you don't like their faces or their guts, then you are killing the sport, because who are you going to bring in that are better than them? We know how federations are run in this country. For instance, in basketball, look at what
Tijani Umar
has done. It's been wonderful. It was during his time that the basketball national team, the Tigers, won the Afro-Basket for the first time, and they are even ready to defend it. And such a man, you don't like his face. A lot of other federations, I don't want to mention. If I mention,
well, you think it's because he doesn't like the face, or he feels we need to do more than what we've been doing? Because we know the issue of funding aside, we understand the issues they had before the Afro-Basketball champion, not even having money they had to source for fund, what the president went through. Athletics also, Solomon Ogba is an example that we don't, you said you don't want to mention names, but we've worked closely with some of these federation presidents. We've seen what they've been able to achieve, with the little resources they have. Maybe what the sports minister is saying, that they're not actually doing enough, bringing that funds from private sector into the different federations.
Of an economy that is under pressure, of an economy that is bleeding. And most corporate organizations are not putting their money in sports, even though they have they are supposed to have tax holidays if they fund this sports. I like what Dialak is doing to tennis right now. There's an international tournament of tennis going on in Abuja, beautiful, and they are putting a lot of, they are even paying in hard currency. Those are few companies. I like what Amaju Pinnick did recently when he got a company, an oil firm, to pay for the national team coaches. That was also beautiful. These are landmarks in Nigeria. Tennis has been good, athletics has been wonderful, basketball, beautiful, and so on and so forth. These are people you need to retain to sustain the tempo that is going on in the system.
Maybe I feel others can just come up and do better. Exactly, because you have people out there that feel they can come in. Fine, open it up. I love what they've actually done. Open it up, let them come in. Let's see what's going to happen in the next 4 years' time.
I'm not saying they should not open it up. I think that they should open it up. But look, as you are opening it up, don't forget that experience counts. And you don't buy it from the marketplace.